Tracy Reinick, Senior Zacks Stock Strategist, and today I'm going to take a deeper dive into Netflix and Tesla's earnings. What are the analysts saying? What are they doing with their earnings estimates revisions? What do the earnings track records look like for these two very important stocks that are reporting this week? Let's dive right into all the great charts and check it out. So let's talk about Netflix first. So this is its earnings surprise chart that you can find on Zacks.com. And as you can see, the red arrows means they missed, the green means they beat, and the amount is based on what the arrow has done. And then you can highlight it here and actually see that this was an earnings surprise of 40% back in 2019. So some of these, if you click on it, you can see the misses weren't that bad, 6% for this one. Then we had 13, so that's not that bad. We had a nice beat here, which it was 25%. So the length of the arrow will give you even more information than just if it's red or green. But we do see all those red arrows during the pandemic. And part of that was because no one knew how many people were going to be subscribing to watch from home while we were all stuck inside. So the analysts had a difficult time of trying to figure out what Netflix business was doing. But now, what does it look like for this coming quarter? You can see that maybe some of the analysts are figuring it out now that we're starting to come out of the pandemic a bit. So these charts on the estimate revisions will tell you what the analysts have been doing, and this was in the last 7 days. So 9/20/21 here is this quarter, and you can see 3 of the analysts are very bullish. They're raising going into this number. Now that's pretty rare. We rarely see analysts wanting to revise ahead of the time because they don't want to get it wrong. And so they're more likely to be cautious and do nothing than do something. Now, we also have one down here that is revised lower, but that's not too terrible because 3 are revising higher. So some of the analysts are just kind of tinkering with their numbers here. They've also decided to revise higher for next quarter as well. And then you can see the full year right here, also similar to this quarter, not surprisingly, because we're about to get this quarter. And then next year, analysts are already bullish as well. Now, if you go up here to earnings estimates, you can see this is earnings growth for the year of 71%. And then next year, they're expecting another 22%. So the earnings growth for Netflix is just through the charts, off the charts right here with, great earnings growth. And what does that look like on the chart? So Zacks has this cool chart called the price and consensus, and I like to look at it when I'm determining what's going on behind the scenes with a company. And this one is exactly what you want to see on this chart, on the price and consensus. It's very consistent earnings growth. Most likely, this looks like double digits for the most part in between each of these. That's tremendous. They keep doing it. And, Netflix has been around for a while now, almost like 20 years. So this is pretty impressive that they're still doing this kind of earnings growth. And again, it's not surprising that we see Netflix breaking out right here once again. It was the best performing stock of the last 10 years, up over 10,000%. But with this type of earnings outlook, you're going to get bullish, hopefully, indicators in there. And so we are seeing that here. So what does Tesla look like? Because these are interesting charts as well. I haven't looked at these in a while. So Tesla used to basically miss all the time. Back there in 2017, 2018, nobody cared because it was all about when will the cars be rolling out? How many can they get out? And it still is about that. But they've really turned it around in terms of actually beating on the analyst estimates. And like last quarter, this was a huge beat, 61%. Only just this one miss during the pandemic. So that's pretty impressive. And so it's put together a nice earnings surprise track record now. But what are those estimates looking like? So this is even a better story than what we just saw with Netflix, because here's this quarter over here, and there's nobody lowering here. Only 4 have raised in the last 30 days. That's a big deal too. It's not heading right into the numbers, but there's really no reason why they should be adjusting here unless they feel things are going to be better than what they originally thought just about 90 days ago. So if you look at the full year, six estimates revised higher here for the full year. And up here, you can really see the earnings growth, 137%, as they made 224 last year and now 532 this year. That's pretty impressive. And the analysts expect it to continue with another 32% for next year with this $7. Now, you do have one analyst adjusting down here for next year, but it's still pretty early to really know what's going on next year. So maybe they felt like they were just a little too hot for 2022 and they're adjusting it down. But we still have the momentum on the side of revisions higher. So this is what we like to see here at Zacks. Get those revisions higher and then the stock will follow. But let's see what's happening with that. So again, this is the price and consensus chart that I like to look at. And I haven't looked at this one for Tesla in years, and I was impressed by what I saw. Not quite as good as what we just saw with Netflix, because that is like very consistent gains going back the 5 quarters. But once you get past this third year here and you start into this year and next year, you can really see the bullishness of the analysts here as those cars are rolling out. And so this looks very good to me now too. And you can see the stock starting to respond to what the analysts are doing. This is what we like to see here at Zacks. So if you are going onto Zacks.com and trying to look for earnings information and look for our charts, these are the ones that I always look for to find out what's really going on behind the scenes. Look at the detailed estimates page. That gets you the earnings estimates revisions. Look at this price and consensus chart, because this should get you bullish if nothing else. And then look at those earnings surprises. But with both Netflix and Tesla, nobody really is caring much about the earnings surprise, miss or beat. They care more about the subscriber base with Netflix, and with Tesla, the number of cars being produced. But still, if they're beaten, the street's going to like it. So that's also still a chart to consider with these two. But these are going to be some of the hottest charts this week. So you don't want to miss a single episode of the Zacks All Earnings All-Stars, because I'm bringing you even more charts throughout this week and all of earnings season. So be sure to tune in.